please give a warm Farm Bureau welcome to the Governor of Kentucky, Matt Bevin.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. It is good to be with you. It truly is. The comment about having 9 children is part of why my wife is not able to be here with us this morning. It was either you or them. They won. But it is interesting because our oldest, we now had 8 going out the door to school this morning. The oldest actually graduated last year. And it speaks volumes to who we are as Kentuckians and to the lore of our agricultural base in many respects, to the fact that a young woman who is very gifted in many areas, got a 36 on her English ACT and very well overall, as you would imagine, is literally, as we speak, mucking stalls for someone who is in this room. So I won't name that person, but she has taken a year off to work on a farm. To muck stalls and haul hay and take care of whatever is done. Yesterday she said, she came home, she said, my hands are so stiff, but all the leather on the farm is so soft right now. So this is what she's doing, and this is the beauty of when we talk about We Are Kentucky. We talk about the Farm Bureau believing in Kentucky. This is us. This is who we are at every level. And I'm blessed to be the father of a large family. I'm blessed to be the father of a family that looks not unlike all the kids that you saw in this video. And that is the greatness not only of Kentucky, but of America. There's so much division. There's so much unrest. There's so much celebration of it, sadly, and so much fomenting of it for the sake of creating controversy and edge and selling copy. And it's unfortunate because what we see in America is something a little different than what we grew up with. More than just the price of the ham has changed since 1964, I'll say that. And this is something that I think should be a wake-up call to each of us. I want to thank, first of all, 2 groups of people that have not yet been thanked. And in fairness, you can't think of every single person, but it's 2 groups that I've interacted with today. First, I want to thank our law enforcement officers, so many of whom have been standing around these rooms and outside these doors and made sure that we're able to come in and out of here. And I want to thank everybody who's dressed in black and wearing a gold tie, including this woman right there in the back who just stuck her head in and wonders how she got picked out. But let's thank those men and women who provided all this service to us and have helped to make this breakfast so outstanding. Thank you. We really are blessed by, the wonderful thing about Kentucky, and people, I hear this over and over and over again, as we talk to people that are thinking about coming here, people who have come here, people that are looking to invest here, time and time again, people are upside surprised, blown away by, surprised by, and grateful for the incredible hospitality that they receive from people in Kentucky. We take it somewhat for granted. It's not unique to us, but it is uniquely delivered here in Kentucky. We really have something magical, something special. I literally was writing last night. I had to answer 10 questions, one of which was, what do you say to families and people thinking about being in Kentucky? And it's awesome when you can be the governor of a state where you get to use, with no facetiousness, words like magical in your response to a question like that. And there really is something magical about Kentucky, about this place. It starts in our agricultural base. It starts in our rural communities. I'm a little biased as a kid who grew up in such a community. I've shared with you all before, I was a 4-H'er my whole life. It was my ticket to the outside world. And going to the county fair, and incidentally, how stellar. If you enjoy the fair at all, you are not going to get 4 or 5 more outstanding days than the next, I guess, what do we have, 4.5 more days here. This truly is going to be an extraordinary way to wind out the fair. So come on out and enjoy what we have to offer. For me, this was always something that was a part of my life, and I'm grateful for all that goes into making it so spectacular. It's interesting too. I was looking at this thing. I don't know what this is attached up here by, but it moves around a lot. And I was sitting right here, and I was worried it was going to fall off. But I have not been near anything this valuable since earlier this week when myself and two other people in this room, Senator McConnell and Congressman Guthrie, myself and the Secretary of the Treasury, had an opportunity to do something that nobody has done in America in 40 years, which is to go into the vault at Fort Knox. And while it's a little smaller than this, it probably weighs about the same amount. One of those gold bricks is worth about the same as this ham. So and just for the record, it's worth more than $500,000, just saying, for those of you that are going to be bidding. So just think of this as your own little piece in honor of this first foray into the Treasury vault at Fort Knox in 40 years. For those of you that are going to be bidding, just imagine it's your own little gold brick that you're going to be bidding on. And yet the best part is you get to eat it. So bid generously. And I want to thank those of you who have come literally to bid, and those of who are going to bid high. And I want to thank in advance the winning bidder, but I also want to thank whoever the bidder is right behind him who made them bid a little more than they were going to. And do remember, that is why we're here. And you know for a fact you have tremendous latitude and ability to be generous with the decision you make in terms of the final price. So bid high, because frankly, not only in drawing attention to this and in helping the Farm Bureau in this effort, you also have the ability to help people all across Kentucky and all across America. And frankly, that is our responsibility. As was noted in this video, as we've said from the beginning of the time that the Lieutenant Governor and I have run for office, we are Kentucky. We truly are, and we should take that seriously. There's a lot of things I could touch on, and I'll wind it up by saying this. As I came in, everybody wanted to only talk about ham, and I thought to myself, really? Nobody has anything else on their mind in Kentucky these days? Anybody? Anything any of you are curious about that's happening in state government? Maybe rhymes with Schmenschman or something like that? Nothing? I mean, the reality is the pension is on everybody's mind, and you know it, and that's not lost to us. I'm going to have a meeting. I'm going to have to duck out here a little bit early even out of this event to meet with Speaker Hoover and with President Stivers, Senator McConnell. This isn't lost on the leadership in the state. It isn't lost on our congressional delegation. The reality is we do have, as was noted, a pension issue that needs to be addressed. It affects everyone in this room. You may not think it affects everyone in this room. But every dollar that does not become available to a school system or a law enforcement opportunity or a road is not made available because it's having to shore up a sagging pension system. We have a system that had it been taken over, had it been a private sector pension system, would have been taken over decades ago, a long time ago. We are in dire straits, but we are determined to save our pension system. That's the message that I hope each of you takes out. And I know I can speak for our speaker, and I can speak for our Senate president. To a person and the rest of our leadership, we are determined to save this system. We have a legal and moral obligation to do so. And so know that the determination by the people you've sent to Frankfurt to save this system, to ensure that the promises made can be delivered upon, not only for those retired, not only for those working, but for those that will need to be hired into the future, that we have a system that is known to be reliable. And we have been deluding ourselves for a long time in this state, and we know it. So we're doing hard things. It isn't easy. It isn't fun. No one wants to be the elected leaders at a time when the rubber has to meet the road and when the hard decisions are made. But truth be told, you all represent industry that understands that sometimes even when it is sleeting and hailing and raining, you're still out there. And politically, these are the kind of things that are happening to us, not only here, but in Washington, D.C. as well. And you have leaders from Kentucky that are willing to take the heat and willing to stand there and get their teeth kicked in, and they're doing it because it is the right thing to do, and because in the case of this state, we are Kentucky. And so on behalf of the Commonwealth, I am grateful for the chance to be your governor. I'm grateful to serve alongside other people, including our Commissioner of Agriculture, Ryan Quarles. I'll tell you, we have never, and I would beg anyone to differ, we've had some great commissioners of agriculture. We've never had anybody literally as qualified, as committed, as capable is driven to move us not only along, but forward by leaps and bounds, harnessing the very best of what we have the ability to do globally to become an increasingly large player, as was noted, not just a $6 billion industry, but a growing industry. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with him, to work with Warren Beeler, who's my point of contact to so many of you, to work with people at every turn, at the local level, all the way up to the highest levels of Congress in Washington, D.C. with Senator McConnell. I'm grateful for the fact that I am a Kentuckian. I'm grateful to serve you and to work with you. Thank you for the opportunity that you have afforded me to do this, to include making the hard decisions. We'll do it together because we are Kentucky. Thank you.